because it takes some things to get done. But I also heard one of my colleagues tell me very recently, as of yesterday, I want you to know you're a priority for me. So welcome. Okay. I'm just going to pause and let you know that I'm sitting here on a Tuesday night talking to you about dating. I'm here talking to you about fulfilling your dreams because, number one, it means something to me. When 2017 rolled around, it was a very difficult year. 2016, prior to that, it was developing into one of those difficult years, but I was still pushing. But by 2017, I was like, look, God, this is a little bit too much for me. Relationally, things weren't going well. Career wise, it was like stagnant. I felt like I was away from family and friends. Things were going on that I just did not desire. And many didn't know that I was going through things because I have a strong faith that all things work together. But even when you're faithful, sometimes, somebody be honest today, even when you're faithful, sometimes life doesn't feel good. Can anybody witness to that? Okay. So, so, in the place where I'm like, okay, I know God can, I know He will. When things were not going well, it still didn't feel good. And I asked God to tell me what to do. And I actually got so bold that I was like, I'm not moving from this spot, that I chose to, commune with Him in until He did. And in that moment, for those of you who know the story, may have followed me, become a cohort member and fulfilling your dreams, whether it was in life or whether it was in love, you know that the minute I asked that, He said, write down what's important to you. He didn't say this person is wrong. He didn't say that situation is off. He began to look, he had me look inside of myself. And I'm in a rocking chair, and I noticed that I rock a lot when I do these lives. So y'all just call me out, say stop rocking. Somebody say stop rocking. Y'all type that in there. But as I was there, um, he told me to write down what was important to me. And what was important to me just began to fill up the page. And when I looked down, it spelled dreams as an acronym. Every first letter spelled dreams. And D standing for the very first one that creates everything else, and that's divinity. The very next thing that was important to me is and was relationships. Now, as I told you, I wasn't in the best situation at the time, and but that's okay. It did not take away that it was still important to me. And I want to talk to some of y'all today. Um, Hopefully, this can inspire. Just because something didn't go well, it didn't go right, it didn't pan out, it didn't turn out the way you want it to go, doesn't mean that you have to give up on it. Okay? It doesn't. So, relationships were important to me then. Relationships are important to me now, even more so today, because now I get to speak into the lives of those who are going through what I've been through, and I can help them get out of it quicker with more success and with more joy. Let's pause on that word joy. How you doing? How you doing? The word joy means everything, because the joy of the Lord becomes our strength. So when we're going through something, and y'all know dating ain't always easy, y'all know it. So we're going to have to fall back all the time on joy. If you're in a dating situation and you do not feel joy, that is a very good indication that is not a relationship for you. Tip number one. If you've been pushing, I said date. This is not a marriage Q&A. You should have been here in February when we talked to our dream couples. They were phenomenal. And these mentors follow us throughout the program that I present. But what I'm saying is, if you're dating and you don't feel joy, it's probably not the one for you. Okay? So if you didn't write that down, go ahead and write that down, because it is very, very true. Infatuation is one thing where you're like, oh my God, I feel like I might be in love. I didn't say all that. I'm saying joy is that inner type of contentment that says, something feels right here. This is kind of cool. There's an alignment and a peace that comes with the happiness of what's going on the outside. And if you are devoid of that, you're always confused on whether they like you. You're confused on whether what they're saying means something more than what is actually being literally said. If you're always wondering and in your head, you got to back up and ask honestly, is this the person for me? Okay. So that's number one. That's number one. Let's say number 1A. Number 1A. What if that is the person for you and you actually are in your head because it's your own personal habit to overthink, to overanalyze, to second guess? Maybe there is some insecurity that you have dealt with. Well, that's okay. You still need to back up and ask, are you the person then that they need to be with? The reason why that's important is because if you are your very first connection and you have work to do, you don't want to bring a burden unto someone else. Remember, we said joy is important. So you don't want to be the one who takes joy away. You might want to take some time to work on yourself. Think about those things that you often cycle over. Okay. If you cycle over overthinking, if you cycle over analyzing, or insecurities, or those things that keep you unsure, though there's evidence that you should be, it's okay. It's okay to back up and say, well, hey, am I the person for them? Maybe I need to do some work. Maybe I need to see what the root of these behaviors are. These are just tips, the Q&A, the type of information that you will be getting, because for my ladies out there, y'all, sometimes, we say there's no good men left. All the good men are already married. I don't know where to find them, the whole nine. That's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It is not true. I want to know what's going on that the women who are good and full of character, who are looking for long-term and marriage relationships, are missing the men who are good, full of character, and who are looking for long-term and marital relationships. And if it continues to happen, maybe your community lacks just a little bit. It doesn't mean it's a bad community. It doesn't mean who you're around it's horrible and you gotta flee. It just means maybe you need to upset, what they say, level up. Maybe you need to get around a different community. Maybe you need to put yourself out there amongst other people who could actually introduce you, or you could be placed in the same spaces with the type of men that you're looking for. It's just one of those things that you absolutely have to do. And that's what's going to happen in a day of Dreams Divine Dating. I get to vet people, meaning I get to talk to them, get to know them a little bit more about their character, their wants, their desires, what they're looking for before you do, which means I would not even invite them to be in the building if I didn't think they weren't full of character and have aligned purposes with the type of women who join my cohort. Okay. So that's that. So that's tip number 2 for you. Tip number 2 is just, we want to make sure that we're around the people who can put us around the people that we desire, especially if you have this rhythm of go to work, come home, go to church, go to the store, come home, and do it all over again. And I am not saying you cannot find your one that way. Literally, they could be at the store waiting right now. So if you need some milk, go ahead and go get it. But what I am saying is it is insanity to do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect a different return when you're hearing, if this resonates, that there might be other communities of quality, godly people who want to be around you, who need to be around you, right? So think about that. Think about that. What if somebody could flesh out all the crazies for you, and you all are just in a space and you can find who you're the most connected to with joy and without frustration? What would that be worth to you? I want you to think about that. All right. So another tip for you tonight. Another tip is this. As you begin to date, and I told you I'll tell you what it is. So dating is when you collect data on the person that you're actually engaging in like social activities with. So back in the day, there was something called a group date. Maybe you're a little bit younger and your parents felt a little bit more comfortable you going out in a group versus one-on-one. Well, what you got to do in a group date is you got to see how everybody interacted and you got to see how you fit in with that. As we get a little bit older, we may choose to actually do one-on-one dates. And so now we need to see how they interact with others, even if we're together just one-on-one. For instance, when you go to a restaurant, are they courteous to the waiter or waitress? Do they have manners when they talk to you to eat? Are they, opening a car door when it's time to go to the car? Are they leaving you out in the cold? When other people are around and maybe they're singing happy birthday, are they annoyed or are they celebratory with the people? Let me say that again, celebratory with the people. These are characteristics you need to be looking for, because if you're going to date them, you're collecting data at all times. It's not an interview, but it is data collection. So let's take me, for instance. If I was to go out with someone and they came 15 minutes early, they came to the door and, they had a bright smile, very excited to see me. And, they're like, hey, let's go to the car. They open the car door. What's going on as a mental note is this is a gentleman who has taken this seriously. Okay. Now, they may never be early again, but they took it seriously enough to show up early, which is that means on time. And they say, just hop in the car. And does that really matter? Some guys want to know, does that really matter? It does matter, because we're looking to see, are you here as a protector for us? You opening the car door is not only chivalrous or charming. It says we want you safe and in the car first. Okay, so yes, that does matter, ladies. Now, look, if it doesn't stress you, don't stress it. But that's the data collection I personally would be taking. Next thing that I'm thinking about is, once we get to a restaurant, does he take the menu and just begin to order without saying, hey, is this type of food you like? Or, what do you see that's interesting? Once again, that's showing interest in me. So I am taking note of this at all times, just like he should be doing the same thing for me. After the date is over, or dinner at least is over, if he's saying, hey, let me come back to your place, in a manner where it is not very friendly, it has other undertones, then we can tell, here's the data you collect, that maybe the agenda was different than just collecting data. Maybe his agenda was different. And I'll just say it like that. We're all grown. We know what that means. Did I put judgment on that? Nope. That's on you. But I'm talking about, if I was going to date, here's the data collection. It wasn't about just getting to know me. It might have been something a little bit more further than I personally wanted to explore, let's say, at that point. Because there's so many facets of a person that if romance hops in so fast, you probably will get twisted in your brain and or heart and who you want. Okay. Now, all of these were very simple, very, just like run of the mill type dating situations. It really is. If a person is unique in the way that they approach the date, meaning something that's more than a dinner and a movie. I mean, they had a thoughtfulness about it. Maybe if the gentleman, when he has to take a call, he says, excuse me, may I take this call? Versus just picking up the phone, talking to his homie. Maybe if it's a work related situation, he lets you know ahead of time so that it doesn't seem disrespectful. These are all things that are very important to take in to count. But let's move further. If that's your first date, then it's easy to do. Here's how you know if they have character. If it's your fourth, fifth, or sixth date and they still remain at doing these things. Okay, so to be easily impressed day one, we can take note of it because data collection starts at the very first experiment. Like if you're a scientist, trial one, it matters. But trial one cannot stand alone. You have to do multiple trials of something to see if it's valid or if it could create a theory. And this is how I tell my girls to think about dating. Have fun, have joy, enjoy the moment. But don't go ahead and buy the wedding dress on the first date or the second date because you have way more to consider over time. So, if he's still, just as thoughtful on date 5 or 6, if he's just as thoughtful, when it's time to be courteous to the people who are in your surrounding area, he's still, hey, may I take this call? I have a work call, a situation. These things are very important to note. Then you can begin to settle into your heart just a little bit. Maybe this truly is this person's character. So those are some of my dating tips for you for tonight. I wanted to hop on here because I know some of you are like, who is this girl who is saying that she is a date guru and dream coach, and what can she say and or do? For me, here's what I know. Here's what I know. Here's what I know. And there's a lot of things I don't know, but here's what I know. I know that if you approach dating as though you're collecting data, then your heart can stay guarded in a way that is not a wall up. It's a very open fence to say, hey, I can open this fence or I can keep it closed. It's not a brick wall somebody has to chip down. That's the difference. If I say, hey, I'm just collecting data, then if I collect data I don't like, I'm still successful. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not a non-success because the date didn't go well. It's like, oh, dating doesn't work. Online didn't work. This guy sucks. It's not like that. Okay. Well, if this guy chews with his mouth wide open and all his food falls out, we're at dinner. Here's the collection I got. He's probably not the person I want to go to dinner and especially eat around my family and friends. Okay. So that is success. You have just collected information that is going to help you down the line. And does that mean you have to 86 that person? That's on you. Your data collection is based off of what your criteria and what is aligned with your purpose. Okay. I would ask if he could close his mouth, and if he couldn't, we probably couldn't rock. So yes, I am silly. I am, practical. I am all of those things, but more so than anything, I am seriously passionate about people not giving up on love, i.e., their dreams for love. Okay. Because I definitely believe somebody's dreaming of you right now. I want you to know somebody's dreaming of you right now. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of work, faith steps, that action to make those dreams come true. Okay. Sometimes it's just a little step. And one step could be to say, okay, I'm going to jump back out into dating. I know it didn't go well the last time. That's okay. I know you've been single for a while, and that's okay too. I know you had to take a step back and reassess. Oh my God, what is it about me? But after you've done all that and you're ready to just dip your toe back into the dating pool, so to speak, it might be wise to do it with a mentor. It probably will be beneficial to do it with somebody who has been down that road, come out, and desires for you to stay out, right? it might be beneficial to be a part of a program where embedded in it are successful marriages who are going to take you by the hand and say, hey, I can see from the outside some of the things you can't see. Think about this. It may be beneficial to be around other females just like you who understand it, but won't spend their time complaining. They're going to be spending their time self-connecting and God connecting so that they can connect. Does that make sense? And it might be beneficial to be around a community of both men and women who are like-minded, because you never know who's in the midst might be the one that's for you. We have a Day of Dreams Divine Dating that's coming up April 30th through May 1st in the beautiful city of Stone Mountain, Georgia, at the wonderful Atlanta Evergreen Marriott Conference Center. And it's going to be fun-filled. It's going to be packed. We'll have what I call interactivities. Interactivities will get you up and out of your seat. This will not be a conference where you will be bored out of your mind. I wouldn't even know how to do that. You're going to have the opportunity to ask questions. You're going to have the opportunity to do some things. Get yourself ready. Maybe you'll hear, because this is really your first jump back into dating altogether. Oh my God, how blessed you're going to be to jump start it at a Day of Dreams Divine Dating, because that's going to lead you into many days of dreams, divine dating, dating in 3D. You're going to be able to have lunch and dinners and do all of these things. And the Sunday morning activity is going to be one for the history books. And I mean that with all my heart and soul. So I really want to invite you, your friend, your friend's friend, to come and be with us April 30th through May 5th of 2022. And the Day of Dreams Divine Dating is actually a 2-day event. And we look forward to seeing you. For all of the information, all you have to do is go to my bio. Go to my bio, click the link. You'll read a little bit more. It gives you a lot more detail on the event. And go ahead and register. Right now, we're running the pre-sale, and the pre-sale offers you and your friend an amazing price. First of all, the price is already amazing. Because, okay, ladies, let me talk to you real quick. I was at the outlets at Hilton Head just a few weeks ago. Walked in to my MK store, and it was like, hey, you can get this purse, this wallet, and accessory, $300, right? I'm like, what? Oh my God, let me check my color. Let me get it out. Da 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 da. Let's go, right? And that's a steal, right? But after I left, I ain't have no man, I ain't have no connection, I ain't have no possibility of having a future business partner, a future homegirl. I ain't have no more wisdom about love, my dreams, and nothing. But my purse was cute, right? What I want you to do is think about how much it would be worth when you leave with amazing girlfriends, when you leave with amazing numbers from very handsome, character-filled men, when you leave with a heart and a mind and a spirit filled of the revelation and the encouragement that it's going to take not only to jump back into the dating game, but to do it successfully and with joy. How much would that really be worth if you actually met somebody who could be your forever spouse? I don't know if any person could really take any, precedent over that. I just don't. But that's me. And if you think like me, you're definitely a good candidate to be at a Day of Dreams Divine Dating. Now, like I said, you and your friends have an amazing price going on during the pre-sale, but the pre-sale will end on Thursday. Okay, it will end on Thursday. And so the way you get it is once you click register, you go there, you click register, you have to put in the promo code on the very last final sale page. Okay. Promo code capital FRIEND, all caps, friend. Okay. And you'll see the amazing price, you and your friend, if you want to bring someone, and I mean of the same gender. So homies, get your homegirl. Oh boy, get your homeboy. And come on in to the Day of Dreams Divine Dating. I hope this has answered a little bit more about what we're going to be doing at the end of April, early May. Let me just say, we're going to end the month together and we're going to begin the month together. So that is just very synonymous. You're going to be ending the dating season of where you did not experience joy and you had frustration and it didn't work, to something brand new where there's going to be grace and ease. I know the number 5 is for grace. I wasn't smart enough to think of that, but it definitely happened just like that. So let me jump on off of here and wish you all a very, very great evening. If you're watching in different places and it's morning time, I wish you a great day. I absolutely wish you the best in life and love. Don't forget someone's dreaming of you right now. Do the work that's necessary to make that dream come true. And I'll see you at a day of Dreams Divine Dating. Go ahead to my bio, click register, and save a few if you bring a friend. No matter what, I look forward to you fulfilling your dreams in life and love. Bye-bye.